Powered by Riverside FM.
If I could impersonate David Attenborough, I would for this. Unfortunately, I can't, so you'll have to use your imagination. Recently, on a walk through a local forest trail, when peering through the leaves and undergrowth, I caught a glimpse of that most elusive of woodland mammals, the productivity hedgehog. Native to the UK and distinctive by its sharp spikes and negative demeanour, sightings of this creature are seasonal but are becoming much more frequent in recent years. No, I'm not being completely whimsical. The productivity hedgehog is a real thing, but it's not an animal. It is in fact a chart. The chart shows a largely flat line with a series of sharp grey spikes. The flat line is the UK's outturn productivity performance in recent years. It's mostly flat since we have experienced scarcely any productivity growth at all, and the series of spikes are the contemporaneous forecasts made by the Office for Budget Responsibility about how productivity growth was expected to pan out, i.e., in 2022, it expected a large uptick. It didn't emerge, but again in 2023, it also expected a large uptick. So the forecast optics do not map anywhere close to outturn. In effect, the OBR has been persistently expecting sharp upwards movements in productivity that have never come. The series of sharp optics are spiky and coloured sort of grey brown. And that's it. That's really the sum total of its resemblance to a hedgehog. Credit to whichever macroeconomist came up with the phrase, because it's made an otherwise unremarkable chart incredibly memorable. The beauty of the chart and the name is that it lands one simple point from complicated data. There has been repeated overestimation of future productivity on what appears to be a systematic basis. For the purposes of communication, surely this is the right approach. Using charts, figures, or tables to focus on just one message which you wish to land. There may be a lot more to discern from the data itself. So sure, you need to do the analysis as well, and you probably want to make the data available for others to look at. But at the point of communication, to land a single point, it's best to keep it simple. One chart, one idea, one message to convey. On top of that, it's really helpful if the chart is super simple and easy to read. Author John Moon has focused on how to communicate in corporate environments, and he says things like, don't go for unusual or creative chart types, people won't be expecting them and will struggle to understand them. When you do go for a chart, label the elements of it directly on the chart itself, rather than using keys, and stick with things like simple colours, something that I recently failed with when I sent part of a meeting into confusion by describing one of the coloured lines on a chart as teal, causing a number of colleagues to have to look up that colour. Finally, the other key lesson for corporate communication is however much your organisation loves brand, do not use a proprietary corporate font. Something I'm afraid to say that we have done, proceeded to disseminate a load of information to other parties and found that no recipient could read it because they don't have the font installed.